What's good? What's good? What's good? What's going on, people? Shout out to all of my great ones worldwide. It's your man, King Nabby the Great. Today I have a movie review for you. It's for Justice League, the new film directed by Zack Snyder in the DCEU. I know I'm a little bit late. I just got around to seeing it in theaters. Wanted to give you my thoughts on the film and give you my rating. Now, Justice League basically picks up where Batman vs. Superman left off. Superman is dead. He's non-existent. He's not around. There is a new evil enemy force that threatens to destroy the universe as we know it. This enemy force's name is Steppenwolf, and he's quite the powerful bad guy. Now, Batman, Bruce Wayne, he's faced with the daunting task of having to pull together a group of heroes that are powerful enough to face Steppenwolf and save the world as we know it. One thing that I loved about Justice League is that, and this is also a thing that could have actually, doomed this film, is that they pulled together the origin stories of 3 new characters in one film. We already got Wonder Woman, which was a great film. We know Batman, of course. Now we have Aquaman, played by Jason Momoa. We have The Flash, played by Ezra Miller. And we have Cyborg, played by Ray Fisher. Now, we see each individual origin story of Aquaman, Cyborg, and The Flash. As I said, it's pretty quick within all of them. With Flash, we don't really get exactly how he got his powers, but we kind of hear about it. Cyborg, same thing. Aquaman, we see where he's from. You know what? I'm gonna take that back. I wouldn't say that they were necessarily origin stories, but we get the gist of how they become or how they became who they are throughout the story. And I believe that the writing was done, masterfully in this sense, in intertwining these facts, and giving us this exposition, showing it to us on screen, and weaving it within the plot of this story seamlessly. One thing about superhero movies that I'm kind of, jaded with is that our origin stories, especially, with the Marvel films I love, seem to be kind of cookie cutter and follow kind of the same, 1, 2, 3 technique that every single origin story follows. And now, the way that they did it in Justice League now gives us a chance to see more background of these characters without having to flesh out every single little fact in their individual movies, should they have their own individual movies. Now, I'm gonna, state something now that, and it's probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. I'm gonna state something that, you can mute it now. I don't really think it's a spoiler, but it may be a spoiler to some if you're not too familiar with the film or with Batman vs. Superman or just with the entire, universe. Mute it now. I'll put down I'll put a little text down at the bottom when you could unmute. Okay, here goes. The return of Superman. Superman is just badass in this film, and I loved how he came back when he had his little riff with the rest of the Justice League. It was great. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. Okay, unmute. Now, I'd say that, some of the issues with the film, the bad guy Steppenwolf, the CGI of him and his insect minions are kind of, we could see it through the film. It didn't bother me that much. However, it wasn't great. Him as a bad guy in general, he was extremely powerful and extremely worthy of all of these heroes coming together to fight him. And we see that through the movie and his history with the Atlanteans and with the Amazonians and with humans. And they did that, a great job. All of those little snippets here and there were epic. However, there's not much depth to them, but, how much depth have we really seen in comic book bad guys or bad guys in comic book movies lately? There's only a handful here and there that have really been great bad guys as far as, depth and really giving us their reason or their motive behind why they are and kind of making us empathize with them. I do think that the performances from all of the actors, of course, Ben Affleck as Batman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Henry Cavill as Superman, Amy Adams, Diane Lane, all of these people, you know, Jeremy Irons, he comes, all of these people, all of the characters in the film, you know, performed greatly as their characters. I love Jason Momoa as Aquaman. He was badass. He had that rough fisherman, seaside type of vibe to him. Ezra Miller was the fun, goofy guy, kind of reminiscent. He'll remind you of Spider-Man in a way. Spider-Man in Civil War, actually, how he's kind of just excited to be there, sort of. And Ray Fisher actually does I'm not sure what else, if I've seen him in, or if I've seen him, period, but he does a great job as Cyborg and helping us like empathize with him having to deal with this new body that he has, and also just us showing, being able to see his power and just the things that he's able to do and how he copes and adjusts to his power. Justice League was much better than Batman vs Superman, much better than Suicide Squad. It does a good job of kind of, in a way, saving the DCEU. I'm not exactly sure why critics were so hard. I haven't looked at all of the reviews, or I haven't looked at most of the reviews for this. I wanted to go in kind of raw. I only checked out my man 1 Minute Critic. I checked out his review of it. You should go see that when you get a chance. He has a great review on this film. But I think that it's a fun action movie. If you're going there to see a fun, action-packed superhero movie with a good amount of drama, a good amount of intensity, you know, and see all of these heroes in one film, you're going to enjoy this movie. All in all, I have to give Justice League, drum roll please, a flex emoji. Now, to get to some spoilers, just a few. This is part of the reason why it's not an instant classic, or it's not, you know, a flex 0.25 or a flex plus more, is because Superman was kind of brought back as Deus Ex Machina. He was kind of like, you know, once he was brought back, he was way too powerful and just destroyed. I mean, just destroying Steppenwolf was like a piece of cake to him. But at the same time, I loved it when he came back and he had that fight, how the way that he scanned, you know, the hearts of everybody. Aquaman was getting nervous. Cyborg's trying to tell him not to get nervous. It's going to set him off. But then Cyborg can't control his defense mechanisms because he's getting nervous himself. Takes a shot at Superman. And then it's all over. Superman almost kills Batman. Pretty much, you know, dogs everybody. And you just really see the power and strength of Superman. It was so ill. And we see him when he fights Steppenwolf. We see him use his freeze breath, which my daughter Boss Queen, check out her YouTube page, please. I'll put the link down in the description. But she, you know, we always had this conversation of, why don't they show his freeze breath more in films? We want to see it more in films. And he uses it to freeze Steppenwolf's hatchet, and then Wonder Woman comes and destroys it. It was great. The action scenes in this film, when you see the Atlanteans, or the flashbacks of the Atlanteans and the Amazonians fighting this guy, it's great. When they actually go to try and fight Steppenwolf the first time, and you know they have to use the crawler, the night crawler, and Cyborg takes over. You see Cyborg's whole intelligence and how he's able to use his system. It was just magnificent. Now, getting to Batman with the spoiler, we remember from Batman vs Superman that a lot of people were complaining about the scenes that, you know, he was firing off guns and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. We see, and it's justified in this film as to why he has to do this, when he's fighting against the CGI bug minions of Steppenwolf. Really, the only way that he could do is by shooting, you know, his guns at them, and we get that justification, you know, of why he does that. He's not using it against regular human beings. These are creatures from another realm that, you know, he has to go full force with. The last spoiler that I'll bring up is the very, very end credit scene. After the credits roll, the very end credit scene. Please watch it. Now, back in Batman vs Superman, I too had this issue with Lex Luthor. I'm like, he's a kid? He's Mark Zuckerberg? What? He's goofy? I don't get it. What's going on? The last end credit scene shows us that that was actually Lex Luthor's son or nephew or family member in some way, and we're gonna see the actual Lex Luthor who's actually locked up in jail. So they kind of, you know, they kind of righted the ship with that. I know that some of you may say, "Oh, okay, they're just gonna throw that in and and make it." I get that too. I understand that they're just kind of righting the ship, making something up to I didn't see the extended cut of Batman vs Superman, so maybe they went into that in that. But for what I saw, they kind of just threw in a plot point with the end credit scene to right the ship. However, it was a great plot point, and we also see Deathstroke. Yes, Deathstroke. Deathstroke, he's looking like he's gonna be, at least for Batman, he's gonna be definitely a threat, and he's the first guy that Lex Luthor's Jr., we'll call him, meets in order to form his own league of villains to fight the Justice League. So I'm very interested in seeing whatever movie is gonna come out of that. Let me know how you feel about the film down in the comments. Let me know how you feel about this review. Please like, please subscribe. It's your man King Nabby the Great. Be great in life and life will be great to you. Shout out to all of my great ones worldwide. Much love to you. Creativity, abundance, and prosperity to all. And I'm out.